You're listening to Mad Men
Sports.
brought to you by Black Button Distilling.
Check out their website and Facebook for the Bee's Knees package. Perfect way to spend a Friday night. When you do check into Mad Men Sports or Black Button Distilling, don't feel free to tag us on their Instagram story, Facebook story. Check them in. You know, it's a great time. Have a little fun with the social media. It's a great place. They have a bunch of things you take a picture with a bunch of barrels. They have barrels there. They have some great scenery. Check out Black Button Distilling, located in Buffalo and in Rochester.
David, what's up, buddy?
I'm Zach. This is Jake, and that's Dave.
How are you,
Diamond
guys?
Dave.
Diamond. I don't know who the hell Dave is.
Oh my god.
Not the same person. Beavis, what's going
Guys,
on today?
I'm good.
Dog.
I am in football mode. I am excited for the Dolphins game.
Hey, this is a must-win.
Obviously.
Cards on the table. Miami is a must-win.
We were overly positive on Sunday. Not overly, but probably the right amount of positive.
We were a correct amount
I
of
would say
medium.
that we will go to the drastic measures of saying this is a must-win, or else the way the media is right now towards the Bills and the way the Bills are towards them and the way we are towards their offense, firings will happen, in my opinion, if we don't win this game.
I disagree very
Offensive
wholeheartedly.
firings.
No, I think wholeheartedly I disagree with that. Just because I think this game's very important. I think you have 6 other chances to win games after this. You know, I think this game is a must-win. I don't think someone gets fired after it.
The hardest part of the schedule is coming up right after this game, so we need to pull this game off.
I think you have 2 easy
After the
games and then the
Broncos.
season
And I think
goes.
it needs to be not just a win, a convincing win. I think it needs to be about a 20-point win. I think we need to go out there and prove a point.
I tweeted out earlier today. McDermott was very upset in his press conference today. It was like the talk of the town in Buffalo and on media. You know what? Okay to be upset. Okay to say you're about to unleash your offense. But also, it's week 10. What are you waiting for?
should have been
It's week 11. What are you waiting for? And then on top of it, if you're upset, go out there and score 40 points this week or fire someone. Because what are you waiting for
what
at
I
that
just said.
point?
Can I comment on the whole McDermott fire?
Yeah,
up
go
today?
get in
Sure,
there.
buddy.
I think it's overblown. I think it's blown out of proportion. I think that the Bills drive today was a victim of fake news, as some people will say. I think the Buffalo media was.
I don't think it was fake news.
Was pressuring him on questions. I think the whole thing was blown out of proportion. I think fake news is when you convince other people of false things happening.
I don't think it was false.
I think that he did not blow up. He answered the question and he ended the press conference. I don't think he ended it. Maybe it was just over and he just ended it in the way that he's not used to ending it. Anyways, the Jerry Sullivans of the world, all the Bills press that are always asking the anti-Bills questions or doing their job. Ask questions.
That's what it is. They're doing their job.
About the offense that we all know. The Bills aren't dumb. They know their offense is failing right now and not being successful. So they're frustrated. I would hope that all they're focusing on right now is the offense. The Dolphins are a great matchup to blow up your offense and do something very good about it. So yeah, I hope the Bills are on high alert this week. But the way the Bills media is you're hammering questions home, and actually Belichick does a good job. He just ignores it and moves on. McDermott's probably not used to it yet. Still a young coach, and just wanted to end the conversation.
Listen, he has a right to be frustrated, and you could definitely tell in his voice and his physical appearance he was frustrated. You can't tell me that was fake news. He was definitely upset. He's upset that he has to answer questions for his offense when he doesn't have much say. I mean, he's definitely got much say in it, but he's not the one directing the offense. He's up there answering questions that he wants answers to that he himself doesn't even have answers to at the moment. He needs more out of this offense. He needs more out of Josh Allen, which I've been saying for weeks. It's kind of his fault that Josh Allen isn't putting up these yards.
Sorry, Jake, go ahead.
I mean, you're going to have to start answering questions when your team averages 19.3 points a game and is 36% on third downs. I mean, that's just not good. That's not what a 6-3 team does.
Listen, we started the year last year. We ended the year saying Josh Allen has no weapons. Josh Allen has no run game. Josh Allen has no consistency. Josh Allen has no offensive line. We answered all that this offseason by getting him 2 offensive weapons in Beasley and Brown, who are playing very well.
You sat here this offseason
I did.
and
I
said
did.
that they were terrible.
No.
And you're not even going to stand by this
So I was proven
9 games later.
So I was proven wrong.
No.
Are you? Because
I think
this
Brown
offense
and,
doesn't
I
have
think Brown and Beasley deserve a spot in this team next year. I'll say that.
Obviously,
I'll
they
say
signed long-term contracts.
The Bills do not have a run game right now, even though everyone's all goo gaga for Singletary. He hasn't shown us a damn thing.
They don't give him the ball enough.
I think the tight end position is still where it was last couple of years. The offensive line, I think, is pretty good. But there's a lot of holes that you can't blame it all on Josh Allen right now. We have weapons with Beasley and Brown. Other than that, there's nothing. We don't know if there's run game because we refuse to run. People say that we want to be a gunslinger team. We want to chuck the ball around and throw long balls. We're not good enough for that yet. We don't even have an established run game. So people saying they want to throw the ball, again, it's impatient Bills fans. It's just everyone going out there and expecting miracles to happen overnight. We're too young of a team right now. So I think people have to pump the brakes a little bit. But if we lose the Dolphins this week and the Bills don't have success on offense, those are major red flags, and that's not going to be good going forward. And then we talk about maybe a couple weeks ago being a guaranteed spot and fighting for the AFC East. Are we good enough for the playoffs, or are we going to make the playoffs? Because there's teams like the Raiders right now, the Steelers, the Colts, who are doing all they're going to do is their job to make the playoffs. We have to do ours, and I don't know if we're going to right now with this offense.
Listen, Jake and I had dinner tonight at Prima Pizza, one of our sponsors.
So good.
We went there, grabbed a couple slices and a pop.
Where was I?
You don't come to these things, and it's not. You were hanging out with the Beach Boys. So what really happened was we were sitting there, we were talking, we were having a nice night.
On Wednesdays?
No, for sure.
Beware.
No, for sure, no. But listen, we were having a nice talk, and all of a sudden we broke out of this thing like, listen, the Bills are one game up on the wild card. This is a must-win because you have to maintain your lead. Yeah, you need to win just because you need to win the division games, you need the AFC games. But at this point, the Bills just have to maintain their one-game lead on the playoff spot. ESPN had this article today that we all read. They had them in the 6th spot at 9-7. And listen, we'll take that. But there's more to be done for this team. And it's still a growing process. It's still a learning process for Josh Allen. The team's growing. Everyone's young. Listen, if this team makes a wild card berth and get it to one and done this year, I'm not saying it's a successful season. With how young everyone is,
I think if we end
you take it
9-7, I'll be disappointed. I mean, we lose 4 more
They had
games.
6 wins last year.
Listen, I think the playoffs is a success. Anything less than the playoffs is a disappointment. As long as we make the playoffs, I'll be happy. I think it's success. There's still a lot of gaping holes in this team. Just make the playoffs. That's all we need. If we don't make the playoffs, there's a lot of issues, I think.
Listen, out of the top 5 draft picks right now in the draft, 4 of them are on the Bills schedule. There's a lot of problems with how the schedule is shaped out. The Bills aren't really a 6-3. I mean, they're a 6-3 team, obviously, but that's just because their schedule was so light in the beginning. This team is still learning. It's still growing. And the problem with learning and growing and winning is it amounts to a ton of expectations on a year that really, you go and walk the streets of Buffalo, there is not a chance that you would have guessed that you wouldn't have had 50% of the people you talk to say that they were going to have a 6-3 season, even 6-2 at one point this year. You weren't going to have fans say that that was what they were going to be.
I mean, most national media had us pegged to win 4 games this year.
Yeah, I mean, this team amounted expectation and it's currently succeeding expectation. They get one more win. Everyone that bet them for 6.5 wins in Vegas, everyone that bet the over hits on their bets. Like, there's so much expectations that they're succeeding. The one thing that they're lacking so hard and so painfully at is the Buffalo offense. And listen, this team scores 20 points in every game they've played in this year. They're 8-1. That's a crazy stat. That's something the Bills I don't think have ever done. Listen, I don't care. The Super Bowl years, I don't think they ever went 8-1.
No.
And if they just scored 20 points, this Buffalo Bills team does that. But they don't. They missed 2 field goals in Cleveland. They can't get a touchdown on the goal line at home against the Patriots. It's just the little things that this offense needs to put together and figure out that they haven't been able to do yet.
Hey, one thing this team has right now that other teams don't is the fact that they're all healthy. There was no one on the injury report today. Just 2 people that had rest days, and Naseki and Gore. Bills need to take advantage of that. Bills need to realize that that's a benefit right now that they have. And they need to use that because the Bills have their starting, besides 2 players on IR, Bills have a starting roster right now. Dolphins have a beat-up team. Other teams have beat-up teams. We stay healthy this week. We're going into the last chug of the season, the last 6 games. It's a pretty healthy roster, and that's pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah, and the Dolphins, as of November 13th, have 6 players on the injury report. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to come down to injuries as well, the Bills being super healthy. I mean, in years past, has been a big problem for the Bills. I mean, there was times to where we had 2 wide receivers on the team, but now healthiness is going to be...
And that's something that I noticed earlier when I read the Dolphins report, and I did some would say research. The Dolphins have their 2 starting cornerbacks playing this week because they had them last week. But other than that, they had 2 backup safeties playing corner, and they also had linebackers covering people. The Dolphins have very bad luck at cornerback right now. So if the receiver is going to shine, this is the week to do so. This is the week for a Foster, or Duke Williams, or a McKenzie, or even an Andre Roberts to go out there and make a name for himself and become a threat down the end of the season.
Absolutely, Dave. It sounds like you did about 4 pounds of research, and that's awesome. So, and the fact that you did 4 pounds of research really shows in the fact that you can tell that their cornerbacks are pretty bad. And listen, I don't mean to put some, Jasmine Rice on this thing, but there was some pretty rough times with their cornerbacks.
I'm in danger.
No, for sure. And the Bills really have to exploit that. You have to get this. Listen, McDermott said that he's about to open up this offense. A, what took you so long? And B, do it now because now it's in the media. Now it's out there. You said it in the press conference. You have to now follow through with it. And if you don't, it's now pinned against you.
I don't care that he's opening up it doesn't bother me that he says he's opening up the offense now because
What are you waiting for?
He's not going to tell you everything in the.
It's the 11th game.
Same time, maybe they know their strengths. Maybe they know that I said before on Sunday that maybe they don't think Singletary's good enough, or maybe they don't have faith in the tight ends, or maybe they know the offensive line gets a lot of penalties. Maybe they're just playing their strengths right now and making Josh.
They're being too conservative.
Making Josh Allen a game manager, and maybe he should try to be a gunslinger. Maybe they should mix it up because what they're doing isn't working.
Absolutely. If I'm the Bills, you got to have a big rack here. You got to rack up all the points. You got to get as many as you can here. You got to unload on the Patriots the Dolphins. That's my next segment.
Saturday.
Yeah, I want to bring that up. I was just thinking about, man, we got a flexed game technically out of the Patriots now. But listen, you got to unload on this Dolphins team. Really have to take it to them. It's going to be better weather than the Bills have been practicing in. I mean, you see the pictures on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all things that Mad Men Sports are on. You see the huge amount of snow at practice. That's awesome. You're playing in the worst elements right now. Go to Miami. Go enjoy the weather. Have fun. Break out of this, seasonal thing you're going through right now. This team is in a slump, and I'm not saying that because they're just having a tough time scoring. They need a slump buster here. They got to go down there. They're 1-2 in their last 3 games. This is the worst stretch of the season so far. Go down there, enjoy yourself, enjoy the weather, get ready for the back half of the season, and really take it to them. You cannot lose to Ryan Fitzpatrick. I need to say that 10 more times. You can't lose to Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
I can't lose to Fitzpatrick. You got to go down there. You got to win your divisional game. You got to win a conference game. You got to get to 7-3.
Not to jump ahead, but yes or no? Do we win Sunday? Zach?
Let's jump ahead. No, let's just get right into the predictions. Yeah, I think the Bills win. I want to see them unload the offense. Let's go.
Who's the Bills' breakout player Sunday?
At 38-10.
It's got to be Josh Allen.
It's going to be Josh Allen. And listen, they're going to take the reins off him. You could see the stats from the first 4 games to the last 5 games. There's a huge difference. He was unloading it. The offense was scoring a tad more points. They were getting way more yards. He was making more mistakes.
Which is
But
fine.
that's how you learn. That's how you grow. Listen, you start a new job. You make a ton of mistakes. They don't fire you. They teach you. Those are those are stepping stones. Those are learning curves. No, I'm serious. Like, you get a new job, you learn. They don't cut you loose. They're willing to help you out. They move you forward.
Doing okay?
I'm doing fine. You guys are making this ridiculous.
Say prediction and breakout player.
I still have a job. Relax. Psychopath.
We'll talk after.
I think it's going to be 27-10. We're going to see a little improvement out of the offense. I think it's going to take a couple more games.
I need 30 points out of this offense.
I mean, yes, so do I, but I don't think it's going to happen. Breakout player of the game. I mean, it's an easy answer. David, I know this isn't tantalizing for you. It's Josh Allen. It's got to be. No one
You need
else.
Josh Allen to break out because there's people calling for his head after 20 games.
Yeah, some guy went after you on Twitter.
The way I see this game going is Josh Allen's still going to make his normal mistakes that he makes because I don't firmly believe we've lost games because of Josh Allen.
You haven't.
I do think the offense has kept us in every single game. What I want to see this
Defense
is consistency with a hefty run game, and I know people hate hearing that, a run game and a pass game. My breakout player is going to be someone we need to break out. Last year, his last 8 games of the year, he made a name for himself in Buffalo.
Robert.
This year, he hasn't done anything.
Robert.
So what I need to see is a receiver step up and become another threat for us. So I want to see Robert Foster come out and have kind of a breakout game and make a name for himself. Show that he's making this team. Duke Williams probably isn't going to play again. I'm sure it's an inexperience thing, or it's they have faith in Robert Foster thing. Bills win 24-9. Fitzpatrick's always good for a couple points. I think our defense wins. The game again. As I said about the cornerbacks, that's something you want to keep an eye on this week because I do think that the Bills go out there. It's going to be nice weather. Josh Allen should have a good game. He's still going to make his mistakes. I want to see Robert.
That's part of learning. Make your mistakes.
I want to see Robert Foster go out there and just make a name for himself and want to make this team and want to be on this team next year.
Listen, if you're Robert Foster and you're Josh Allen, take a magic carpet ride together, guys. Show a whole new world to Buffalo right now. Take over.
Did you watch Aladdin tonight?
I'm on the Disney Plus wave just like everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. But what I'm saying is,
rack it up.
Exactly. You got to rack up the yards. You got to rack up the chemistry here. Take a magic carpet ride. Show Buffalo a whole new world of the deep ball. You got to connect on a couple of those. Jake, am I wrong about this?
No, you're certainly not. I mean, what is it? The offense not? They're putting up like 21 points a game. So I mean, I'm sorry.
Am I wrong? No, or am I right?
You're not.
We caught Jake off guard, guys. I'm sorry.
Jesus, David.
Sorry to go bouncing back
real
and
quick,
forth here.
So we all agree the Bills are going to win. We all agree it's going to turn around. Sorry to get off base, guys. Sorry. We caught Jake off guard, and it's actually really funny. It's an inside story. But Zach mentioned the Bills game and Patriots game being flexed week 16 to 4:30. How does that make you feel? It makes me a little pissed off. I'll talk about it.
Why are you pissed off? I'll take a Saturday game. Now listen, there's a
Saturday game. I'm pissed about the fact that it's not the 8:30 game.
Listen, you win last week, you're the 8:30 game. 100%. You're a 7-2 team going against the Patriots on a Saturday night when college football's not happening. You're that 8:30 game. 100%, David. You know that.
I love the fact that it's on Saturday. I love the fact that it's 4:30. I just want it to be the primetime game. I want to be on the spotlight. Even though the
technically it is a primetime game.
Bills don't usually play well in primetime.
We are not.
They're part of the triple-headed. They're part of the triple-header.
What is the primetime game? The Rams and Niners?
I don't necessarily remember.
I think it is Rams and Niners, which honestly bores me. Niners bore me a little bit.
I know that the earlier game is Bucks with someone in
Texans.
Bucks and Texans, which might be a big fantasy game. I'm not gonna lie, that might be a huge that's fantasy championship weekend. You got Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins. You got some players in that. Chris Godwin.
Mike Evans.
Someone's starting Jameis Winston. He's a top 10 fantasy
I'm sorry
quarterback.
To not talk about this off camera, but what happened to Frank the Tank? We not getting him
tomorrow. Frank the Tank's tomorrow, boys.
Today's
his birthday.
I'm working tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Frank the Tank.
Yeah, happy birthday.
It's today. That's why we couldn't get him. No, it's today. That's why we couldn't get him.
He's also an internet sensation if you watch it.
Yeah, Dolphins beat the Jets recently.
He was not happy.
And he was all over the place because he's mad they can't tank right.
Which I will actually ask him a question about that and kind of tear him apart because you always want to win no matter what.
Don't do that.
Oh, man. We're having an old-fashioned Frank the Tank versus Diamond Dave at Mad Men Sports.
It might be an entertaining watch. Please do so because I'm going to come at him hard tomorrow.
Yeah. Frank's the most recurring guest, so maybe we'll let Dave go at him a little bit. But also, he can't take Frank the Tank by the balls here. You know what I'm saying?
Zach, take us home with giving that ball away.
Guys, remember, we're still trying to give this ball away. Come get this ball. We're just trying to give balls away over here. We're trying to go all the way deep. We're trying to give these balls away. I'm not asking a lot. Pick the score. Hit the right spot.
No Nick Chubb this week.
No, exactly. What do you think's going to happen? Tell me who your all-star of the game's going to be. Tell me who's going to get this ball. Tell me what the score is. In the comments, tweet it at us, Facebook us. You guys listen. I appreciate you guys listening. Jake appreciates you guys listening. Diamond Dave loves you guys listening.
Loves those comments.
Thank you, Black Button.
Tear me apart. I don't care.
Thank you, Black Button Distilling.
I won't comment.
Remember, the Bee's Knees date promo, Friday nights. Guys, it's the perfect thing. I'm doing it next weekend. Not going to lie to you guys.
Really?
Yeah, I already signed up for it. It was a great deal.
You're the lady, huh?
Yeah, it's a nice little holiday get-together. It's like right before the madness of the holidays.
Of course.
Take
And
her
ladies,
out,
if
have
you're
a couple
still
of
listening,
drinks.
Diamond Dave needs a date.
No,
Hit me up.
No.
He does need a date, but I know you're not going to do it because you see him here wearing his beanie every weekend. So
There's nothing under here.
take care, guys. Thanks for listening. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Comment. And take care. Go Bills. Listen to Frank the Tank tomorrow.